Good afternoon, everyone. It's Annie from Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about business intentions. And I think it's very easy, I'm going to say, for us to look at businesses and understand what's been happening collectively through our collective consciousness that's affecting our world, right? So if we look at business intention, we can see that anyone, let's say there's a baker wants to sell their products, and someone comes in, and there's a bakery right across the street too. And there's only two cinnamon buns left, let's say. And the person says, well, does the other person also sell cinnamon buns? Because I wanted more than two. And this baker says, oh, you know what? They're the best over here. Now, quite possible that the intentions are very pure, that they really do feel that their cinnamon buns are the best. Only the baker will know whether they're concerned about they haven't had a very good day in terms of business and they really would like to sell a little bit, or they might have an awareness that if the person goes over to the other side, they might see that the other bakery is even nicer than the bakery that they've got right now. So all these sorts of things happen. And I know that this is a bakery that I'm speaking about, but we could do it with anything, right? We can understand this thinking in terms of we look at iPhones, for example, right? So we look at, okay, here's the version of iPhone, and then, in 6 months, there's another version. What's the intention behind that, right? So we know that this is business growth, right? That we are aware of this, that very often in terms of large companies, we can often realize that this is a business growth. So I wanted to start with this one quotation to just bring this idea to your mind of what this brings about in terms of energy. It says, one cannot use an evil action with reference to a good intention. One cannot use an evil action with reference to a good intention. So let's say in an evil action, it's strong language, obviously, but let's say the action is I need to sell you something so that I make a profit. And this is what has happened in a lot of businesses in the world. And I want to let you know that healthcare is no different. And you might already know this. Maybe you've had a little bit of concern with a practitioner or two that you've worked with. But I certainly have gone through this experience where I've got products for sale and a patient will say, oh, can I get this? And if they don't need it, I'm not going to encourage them to get it. Now, at the back of my mind, I might be quite aware that that product's going to expire shortly and maybe I should be able to sell it. But I can tell you that more often than not, I'm actually very, very clear about expiry dates and about recognizing whether a patient actually needs a product or not. And this is really important for everyone to remember because there's a lot of people that are in vulnerable places. So let's say most of us are working with our phones, and we do know that these big phone companies are quite aware of changing finances for a lot of people. And so, what's the intention behind creating a new product? Similarly, if someone is selling a product, even at a store, let's say a healthcare product, at a store, is the intention that this will help the patient, the client, the customer, or is the intention that I need to make more profit? And this is a very interesting awareness for ourselves to have because really important for us to know what our intention is too, right? So let's say we need a product or we think we need a product, we get a product and it doesn't feel like it's helping. Now we're not so happy about the product and the place that we got it from, right? So overall, this creates a lot of mistrust in the environment. And the same thing happens again, whether we save our cell phones, where it's like, oh, this doesn't do something that I wanted it to, or this doesn't do anything different than my last one. I really didn't need to spend on this. This has led to our overspending in society. It's also shows at least a lot of our judgment of things and our want and our desire of things, right? So this has fed that. We know that commercialism does feed this energy. But I want you to think now about the family that is selling in this intention. So whether for the company or whether it's their own company, if you sell with that intention, whether you work in real estate, whether you work in healthcare, whether you work in computers or IT, doesn't matter. If your intention is, man, I made a lot of money there. And I really knew I just had to sell this and I knew that they were going to buy it and I made a great profit. That energy comes home. And now it's about what you can do that's better than another, right? Which is what's being fed in the family too. So, what can I do that I'm noticing is better than you? And we will start looking at the closest people to us with that sort of competition. And oftentimes it starts with that and then moves out into society. So if we think about in a family, if family members or partners are comparing each other, they will compare things when they get outside of the family too. So they're in their workplaces, and there will be this competitive streak. And this energy is not so much the cooperative energy that leads to a healthy and happy community, family, or society. So today I'd love for you to think about that and think about where your intentions are in the business that you do. Now, if your business is to be a homemaker, then that's beautiful. But look at what's the intention. I feel good about my child when they're doing what I tell them to do, is again that I'm going to do things my way, and there's I'm shaping it rather than I'm understanding what the need of my child is. Like I'm understanding the need of my customer, I'm understanding the need of my client. And that's a very different space to start from. I wanted to share this other quotation, which was by Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. And it says, whatever you put attention on will start manifesting in your life. Intention, attention, manifestation. That is how the universe works. Intention, attention, manifestation. If my intention is I really want to help people, my attention will be put on that intention. And then the manifestation is that people are helped. And that's a beautiful space to work from a healthcare provider, but it can work for any business. So intention matters, that if I want my customer to be happy and satisfied and probably be a return customer one day, I would like to make sure that they feel that my intention is coming from them being satisfied, not me, right? So that's a very different space to come from. I wanted to finish with one final quotation, which is really for ourselves to be aware of, like what are our intentions, because it actually then leads to the manifestation of our experience. And this is so important for us to maybe reflect on every day. It says, make your intentions clear. The universe does not respond well to uncertainty. Make your intentions clear. The universe does not respond well to uncertainty. So remember that when we are in any position to help someone, that's the intention, right? And that's where the attention is going. And if we're putting that intention out at the beginning of every day of my intention is to help the people around me, right from the family to the workplace to the road, it's all the same energy that comes from that intention manifesting. And if our intention is, I want to make money, yes, that's where our attention will go, and it will probably manifest in money. And I think everyone knows at least one person who's got a lot of money and is not happy. So remember that even when we're making an intention to make sure that someone else is happy, the intention is they should be happy. Now, someone might say, well, money makes me happy. So yeah, I'm looking at making myself happy. You will find that that runs out. And I guess you'll have to trust me on that, but maybe you've also been in the experience that you might have already experienced this yourself, but you might certainly be able to see others who have all the money in the world and are not happy. So, unless our intention is to make others and ourselves happy, to actually be of service if we're in some sort of business, that is what manifests. And I'd love for you to think about that for 5 minutes after this video. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.